Hello and welcome to the Sabrina River Folk Podcast with me, Nicola Haasz. Tonight's guest is Richard Worrin, who is a member of the Widders Border Morris dance group based in Chepstow. Every year they host the Chepstow Lwyd and Wassail celebration, and he joins me to tell us all about it. This episode is the first of two parts. The second I will record at the event. So, welcome to the podcast, Richard.
Hello, Nikki.
So, if we can, Richard, can we just start with a little bit about yourself and a little bit of your history, please?
Yeah, I'm from Plymouth originally, downtown, down in Devon rather. I lived in Chepstow now for 25 years, working in Bristol, but basing myself over in the Welsh part. Got no sort of Welsh kind of background at all, been pretty much settled there and kind of engaged myself in the local community. So that's how I came to get involved in the Lwyd and Morris dancing from there, really.
And were you involved in Morris dancing before you moved to Chepstow?
I wasn't. No, I've probably been a little bit folky in some aspect, but not full on. But certainly that aspect of sort of being part of a little team, I guess, and is part of the attraction. And with this particular side, that we don't take ourselves too seriously, and it's quite. Mixed ability, I would say. So, but certainly just a great way to chill out. Really, something I look forward to every day. Well, once a week we practice, and we kind of go out and do sort of events around the local area in sort of Forest of Dean, South Wales, and a little bit towards sort of Gloucestershire, and a couple of times we have been abroad to Italy and France doing what we do.
Italy and France, wow! Yeah. I didn't realise that.
But no, it's just great, really. I love it.
Great. So, how did the Widders Border Morris actually start?
So it was set up getting on for about 25 years now, I'm guessing. I think it'd be something like that. It was set up by a guy called Mick Lewis, who I wasn't part of it back then, but he set it up with a group of his friends. I think he had some sort of background in Morris dancing, working in Birmingham and alike, and decided to create a group in Chepstow. And from that, it kind of developed. And I think we've had probably members, about 100 odd, maybe at least, who some stay longer, some stay for a short time, and just enjoying what we're doing, really. So it's Border Morris, so it's not your usual, but what some people think of as hankies being worn and people in white braces and breeches, if you like. It's more it's Border Morris, which is slightly different. It's based upon a tradition of used to be what farmers in the sort of border counties. So you're looking at kind of Shropshire, Worcestershire, Herefordshire, that kind of area along by, if you like, where the Severn runs, effectively, I would suggest. But basically, it was farmhands who wanted a moment of extra bit of wages, and what they would do is they would. It was a form of begging, so they would have to disguise themselves. And what they did is they used to get coal dust, put it over their faces, and wear rag jackets, and effectively go out and dancing with sticks. It's predominantly with sticks, as a form of entertainment, as a form of begging in return for beer, effectively. So that was kind of the tradition, how that particular started, and often the sides wouldn't leave their own village or town. So some of the traditional dances are actually just named after towns. So you've got songs like Hey and Why, Much Wenlock, which I think is a town in Shropshire or Worcestershire. Upton upon Severn stick dance, um, White Ladies of Aston, which is a town in a little village rather in Aston. So they all kind of come from that areas, if you like, and they never really. It would just be danced by. Obviously, back then it was men danced it, and that was where that kind of, if you like, that kind of style of Morris dancing originated from, as opposed to the people that most people think of it as Morris dancing. Like I said, they're in the white suits and the breeches. That's Cotswold. It's called Cotswold Morris, and obviously, fairly obvious that comes from the Cotswold region. So, but they have a more mixed type of thing. So they may dance with sticks, and they may dance with the hankies that you see. There are other kind of Morris dances. You've got Molly dancing, which tends to be just hand kind sort of dancing like with their hands as such. Northwestern or clog dancing, which comes obviously from the northwest part of the UK, and traditionally they have a lot of, they wear quite a lot of flowers on the head, and they often carry garlands of flowers and dancing clogs. And I think the last one, if you like, a bit of a definition is rapper or sword, which I think comes traditionally from the northeast of England. And that's kind of dance with swords or blades as a group. And there's a lot of intertwining of the swords going along with it, really. So that's kind of like, if you like, the sort of variations on the Morris styles, if you like. And it's just the Widders are, if you like, have the heritage in the sort of border style. And Mick, who was who set it up originally, what he did also do is created a lot of his own dances based on just local areas within the kind of southeast Wales. So we do one dance called Severn Tunnel Junction, which is about the history of the railway, and there's another one called Turkey Tump, which is based on the ruins of an old windmill, and we just do figures relating to that one. So it's kind of, they're a little bit more contemporary, but I kind of think based on the same kind of history, really, of being in a local area, which is what it was many years ago. Like I said, when they were just based on the old traditional styles. The Widders is it's a mixed border side, so we have both male and female participants, and that includes not only just dancers but also the band as well. And perhaps one thing that more recent, I guess, perhaps a little bit controversial, was that although traditional was that you just have coal dust and put it over your face, that sort of changed because of the cancerous effects of coal. Really, that it changed to just wearing black face paint. But obviously, I guess probably in accordance with the sort of Black Lives Matter kind of developments over recent years, most border sides have come away from that and will not put black on their face any longer, or not wholly black, but use a variety of different colours to disguise. And I guess it's kind of easy because you've got like products like Snazaroo, like face paints, and they come in different colours. So it does allow you to make it more creative in that aspect. So that's what we tend to do. And as a side, we stick with our colours of purple, blue, and black, and we make our own kind of designs on our face, how we wish to do so, but just keeping with that evolution of tradition, I guess.
Amazing. And where did the name come from?
Forgive me, because I admit, as I understand it, it's come from the Black Widows, which was it something in a Clint Eastwood film? It was a motorcycling thing. I think it's something along those lines, because Mick he was into his bikes and all that, so a biker. So they just created a name based on that, and the colours I think come in from the favourite colours of his sister Tina. But yeah.
Okay. Amazing. So how did the group become involved in doing the Mary Lwyd in Chepstow?
Well, I guess again, it comes down to Mick. Really, he was doing. He is the son, of, if you like, the founder of it all, and when he kind of, if you like, led everything. And there's a guy there in Chepstow as well. He's quite mates with a guy called Tim Ryan, who's again a local Chepstow resident. And I think it was Tim that kind of developed the Mary Lwyd. And from what I'm aware of, is that he literally wanted to create an event in Chepstow using a Mary Lwyd. And there's a number of Mary Lwyds within South Wales, within the valleys. And I think the lady from the Lantrisant was one of the ones that came over and helped kind of develop it. So it started off really, really small. And they did it in the traditional way of just going from house to house, knocking on doors, singing a song, basically asking to come in, which is effectively the Mary Lwyd tradition, effectively. And it kind of developed from that, really. It started off very, very small, and it ended up sort of just pre-COVID. It got really quite big. I think we had something like 60 to 70 different Maoris from all across sort of South Wales coming down. And traditionally, what we would do was we would meet at the there's a bridge that goes over between the Gloucestershire side and also the Chepstow side. There'd be a Gloucestershire Wassail group with some English Morris dancers. We'd meet halfway across the bridge. We'd come over with the Maoris, and we'd have a little bit of a dance in the middle, meet and greet with Welsh flags, English flags, and then we come back over to the Welsh side and have another kind of Maori event outside the Chepstow Museum. Like I said, but that was pre-COVID. COVID kind of put an end to obviously meeting and greeting with the people. And I guess I think people kind of COVID anxiety may have set in a little bit afterwards. So it took a little time to set it up again. And we've only really been going, well, this will be the second year. So yeah, 2024 was the first sort of reincarnation of it again. Slightly different from how we used to. We'd no longer meet on the bridge, just because the expense of it all, it's just too much. But we kind of still have an event there is still an event on the Welsh English side. We've incorporated having a marriage ceremony, including the punko at the gates of the Chepstow Castle. So it's kind of recently just done that way.
And for those that don't know, what can you tell us about the actual history of the Mary Lwyd? Obviously, we know that it's a tradition from Wales within the Welsh folklore. But can you give us any more information about what it's all about?
Yeah, it's kind of related, similar to the wassailing. So it's an event around the Christmas, New Year period. Mm-hmm. I'm going to talk more about the valleys because I don't think it's tradition in the sense of from Chepstow initially, but I got the feeling it's more of more into the South Wales area, where basically the Mary, which was the name of the horse, or not the name, that's the horse itself. It would be led by a group of people to basically go from house to house within the Welsh communities, almost like that a bit of poetry and a bit of singing to basically allow the people ask a knock on the door to come in so that they could come into their house, they could share drink and food as part of a celebration, really effectively. So it kind of, that's how it kind of stems, really, is from there. So I guess it's quite nice that I mean, I personally like that because it's community based and it's quite local and it's for local people. And I think we kind of still try to keep to that within Chepstow, if I'm going to be honest. But that kind of where it sort of stems from. Like I said, it's all to do. It's kind of linked to wassailing as well. The same sort of things. You got the singing, looking for kind of getting people together and sort of celebrating life. I personally think, but yeah.
Especially at that time of year, isn't it? You know, in the deep winter in January, we're all feeling a bit blue after Christmas. The wassailing, which I'm more familiar with, is something to look forward to in that very dark period with the, like you say, the drinking and the feasting and the gathering and the singing and, all of that is good. Spirited community gathering. And we need more of that,
I agree.
I'm all about keeping the folk traditions alive and keeping that, that sense of continuity with the traditions as well. So, why is the wassailing and the Mary Lord important to your group, do you think? Do you think it's the main focus of what you do on in the year? Or?
Yeah, well, certainly this time of year,
Yeah.
We kind of, because since, like I said, we only just started it a couple of years ago, so we kind of, we got some advice from Tim Ryan. Like I said, he was the guy that set it off. And he was kind of pointing in the kind of things that we kind of need to do as an organisation, really. None of us have got any, certainly organisational kind of skills, if you like. We've never done anything like this before. And like I said, it was last time it was restarted it last year. And it seemed to go off much better than we thought. And it is really our kind of thing that we do in the January time. So we kind of plan for it probably about 6 months beforehand, I would guess, just speaking to the local area. So certainly Chepstow Castle, they get them on board to assist us doing a punko. Chepstow Town Council have been involved and give us to be fair, they've given us some grants and money to help close off the roads for the community to come together and see the dancing. Chepstow Museum, again, we're kind of organising basically the free kind of mulled cider that we kind of pass around at the end of the ceremony. So to keep it, and that's part of it for me, is to organise something that is community based and everybody can get involved with. Keep the costs really, really down, low and low, so we don't charge for anything. We do go around with a bucket and just asking for donations and just ask people whatever they want to put in with, and thankfully people are willing to do that, and so we're able to fund the sort of things for next year or the following years, whenever it'll be. So yeah, it's kind of self-sufficient. It's just like you were saying, it's just this time of year it can be quite, people a bit more, get Christmas over. If they've had a tough year, January is never a great year for some people because they're thinking that's why you get the January blues, I guess. People don't have money. Some of the pubs are shut. So this way, it kind of gives you something to look forward to. And we are, like I said, we got the Chepstow Marry, but we as the Widders, we're going to another one. There's another one in Newport this Saturday on the 11th, and there are many others across the country. But yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've only sort of in the last, I suppose, 5 or so years, learned what the Mary Lwyd is, because I'm more familiar, obviously, with the wassailing that happens in Gloucestershire and things like that. So, but I would say that the Chepstow one does seem to be one of the biggest that is held in the whole of Wales, isn't it?
I think it probably has. I mean, less so, more by accident than design, I think, for us. Yeah, it seems to attract. I think maybe it was because it seems to get a lot of community involved, and maybe that's the attraction, or maybe the free cider. I don't know, but it's but certainly it does have a good feel to it, and I certainly think with the backdrop that we did last year, doing the punko or the marriage ceremony, if you like, at the castle was something else, because I just think that's tradition. It used to be going from door to door, so what better way of doing it in front of some castle doors?
So can you, for the listeners, give us an idea of how it's going to run on the day, throughout, the timings throughout the day?
Yeah, certainly. It starts off, we've got about, I think, on this, so 2025, we've got 11 Morris sides. That's a mixture of Border Morris.
Wow.
Cotswold dancers, predominantly from the sort of Wales, Gloucestershire, Forest of Dean. We got Winterbourne down, based over near Bristol.
Yeah, I know them. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're coming over. Then we've got the younger groups, Gidderskins. I think they're from Hereford as well, as a selection of some of the dancers. But I think there is about 11. I know that much. And we're going to be dancing from meeting at the Three Tons, which is a pub near the Chepstow Castle, 12:30. Then we're going to be dancing in the streets, the main street, High Street of Chepstow. I think it was about 12:30 to about 3:30. Then we're going down. We're having a wassailing ceremony in the orchard out at the bottom of the Chepstow Castle. So there's a little orchard down by there, which was planted about 10 years ago now by Transition Chepstow, which is a local, if you like, environmental group to sort of basically put trees and around Chepstow, amongst other things they do. Then we got having a marriage ceremony at the castle, where I think we're having about 11 marries that we know of. There might be some more coming along, but that's all part of the fun. When we're going to have a leading up to the castle, having a ceremony there. Then the plan is to go down to the bandstand and meet the English guys coming over, having another bit of a singing and dancing, and then having another marriage ceremony at the Chepstow Museum about 5:15. And then after that, that's pretty much it. So it doesn't go on all night. But it's probably long enough because bearing in mind it's in the afternoon, can be quite cold, and so people obviously don't want to be out too late. And it's that time of day you get all the kids coming along with the parents, local people. So it's good fun.
Amazing. And yeah, I mean, is Chepstow Castle, obviously, I think, isn't it one of the oldest or the oldest castles, certainly in Wales?
It is. It's the oldest in Wales, yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a prominent position of just by the way the Wye is coming out into the Severn Estuary. It's just wonderful to see the castle. Does it feel good to do these kind of folk traditions in such an ancient setting?
Oh, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt, I certainly think, yeah, it just makes just a bit, maybe that little bit more special.
Yeah.
And if you've got the right, like I said, I mean, doing it down by the bridge, down by the River Wye,
yeah,
it just makes it better.
Yeah.
The connection with all the nature and the architecture, it really does seal it.
Yeah.
That said, I would say, I mean, like I said, we're doing one in Newport, and that's going through the town centre in Newport, and we did last year, and you got a great response from the local people there. And also that's going through a town centre, which is quite urbanised. No, doesn't really matter, it's all the aspect of getting local people out and enjoying
it's the people,
this
isn't
time.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, as you said, the history, when you got it linked to buildings and nature, seals it.
And of course, we know Chepstow is the place of where the River Wye meets her sister river, Sabrina. And for those that know the story of the three sisters, the three river sisters of Plynlimmon, both the River Wye and the River Severn have their source in the same place up on the same mountain.
That's right, yeah, very close to one another.
Yeah, and they flow back down towards each other and they meet again at Chepstow. So, I think places where rivers actually join together, where you have a confluence of rivers, are always very special places anyway. And certainly in terms of human settlements and activities, because it would have been very good for kind of, the maritime trades and all those type of things. So it's really lovely that, you're doing these, old-fashioned customs and traditions in such a magical place. It's really lovely. It keeps the history alive, and I think that's a good thing.
Definitely.
And do you make your own costumes, Richard?
We do.
Is that
we do? That's part of it, really. There's no kind of uniform. You can't get off the peg thing for Morris rag jackets. So yeah, it tends to be from my point of view. It's basically an old shirt, collared shirt, take off the collar itself, and get either rags, either from fabric, from sheets, other shirts, whatever you like. It can be anything, and basically you just stitch the what you've ripped off from the other ones onto a shirt, and basically that's your what effectively it's called a rag jacket. And then you can just and a hat tends to be a top hat, usually decorated with pheasant feathers by most sides. Other sides, there are obviously variations to that because we're based on that Black Widows spiders thing. So the Widders themselves, we have an emblem which is a spider. So, and we tend to make our spider web type material on top of our hats, and you decorate it how you see personal to you. So, for instance, I've got an interest in Plymouth Argyle, so I've got a few sort of Plymouth Argyle stickers on it. Philately, I've got a little stamp bug thing there, but and kind of that really, but in keeping with the colours, kind of like jewels and mirrors as well to make it unique to yourself. And that's what other guys in our side do as well. So they kind of personalise it how they see fit. And we've got some great people, certainly some designers on our side who really know what they're doing. But yeah, they do look good. But and then you don't have to do it that way. You can have it as how you want to do it. It's entirely up to you. But I tend to keep it unique to yourself, but within a kind of group uniform, if you like.
And you said your colours were black and purple and blue.
Black, purple, blue and purple with a little bit of black.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, blue and purple, I would say predominantly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And each Morris dancing group has their own colours and traditions and symbols and things.
Definitely, yeah, they will. Some, I mean, whoever that side particularly wants. There's a steampunk group that dress like colours as you probably imagine in steampunk gear. There's another side from North Wales called Clerical Error, and they have collars, because collars around them. So again, it's unique to that, and it's kind of I think all parcel of the Morris thing, really, that you're all part of the same funny thing, but in an own unique way.
Amazing. Yeah, so well, it's something that I'm really looking forward to coming along to. What does the future hold for the Widders Border Morris? Where are you going, this year and next year? Do you have plans?
We're sort of doing a few folk festivals in Devon. We've got one in Teignmouth we're doing. There's a local festival, it's music festival, Devorden Festival, and that's a cracking one. It's a really good, nice little local festival. Devorden, which is a little village outside of Chepstow.
Okay.
It's heading up towards Monmouth, but a little bit higher up on the wire, really. So we're doing that this year. That's another good one. What else have we got planned? We tend to do a lot of in the summer months. We'll dance outside pubs on a Thursday because we practice throughout the year. But obviously in the summer we can do it as more light, so it gives us the opportunity to dance outside pubs, and which is what kind of Morris dancing used to be, the tradition of, like I say, you'd be begging for drink. And to be fair, sometimes they do give us a little pitcher of beer to share between us. So it is quite nice doing that. And I think, I can't think of the others. I'm top of my head. We meet with other Morris sides. I think there's one we're doing all things Morris down in Ilfracombe. So again, that's lots of different Morris sides coming from the region, coming together, which tends to be pretty good because it's obviously different groups with a shared interest. And we're doing another one at Forest of Dean. Again, it's camping with the Forest of Dean Morris side, and that's another cracking weekend. They're good hosts, but it does involve usually dancing, singing, drinking. So, and wearing silly outfits. So what more can go wrong?
Yeah, no, that's really great, Richard. Thank you for that. It's kind of really brought it alive, and really kind of given some depth to my understanding of what you do, and that's really good. So you must be really looking forward to the 18th, and
Definitely looking forward to it. And yeah, same with a bit of a. I don't know. You kind of because you're going to organise it as well. You just a little bit of trepidation as well. You just hope it's going to go all right. You hope the weather's going to be great, and you kind of hope people are going to enjoy it. That's the main thing, I suppose. We like to put on a show, and just hopefully people enjoy it.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to coming along, and I'm going to hopefully film some of it on the day as well for the podcast and stuff as well. But no, that's really good. Thank you ever so much for coming on the podcast and telling us a bit more about yourself and about Widders Border Morris.
No problem, Nate.
Many thanks to Richard. Widders Border Morris can be found online on their website or on their Facebook page. Tune in to part 2, where I will be filming the second part of the podcast at the Chepstow, Lwyd and Wassail event on Saturday, the 18th of January.